In 2023, a telescope detected something that no one is rushing to talk about loudly. Dark energy is unstable. This means that the end of the universe scenario physicists considered most likely is incorrect. A different ending awaits the universe, a faster one, a more brutal one, and it has already begun. 3 scenarios, 3 ways to die. The first, a slow fading into absolute darkness and cold, with not a single source of light, not a single atom capable of moving. The second, the universe literally tears itself apart. Galaxies, planets, atoms, space itself, ripped like fabric. The third, everything collapses back into a single point. In seconds, temperature reaches infinity, and reality ceases to exist. In this video, a full breakdown of each scenario. When exactly? How exactly? And which one is most likely right now? To understand how the universe will die, you need to understand one simple rule. Everything is determined by dark energy. We know the universe is expanding. That has been known since 1929. But in 1998, scientists discovered something unexpected. The expansion is not slowing down, it is accelerating. That means there is some force pushing space from within. We called it dark energy. We do not know what it is. We cannot see it. We can only observe its effect. But everything depends on its nature. If dark energy is constant, the universe faces a slow fade. If it grows stronger, a rip. If it is unstable and can weaken, a collapse. 3 forms of dark energy. 3 ways to die. Let's start with the first scenario. The heat death. This is the most likely ending according to current data. The universe keeps expanding. Galaxies drift so far apart that they can no longer see one another. Each galaxy is left in total isolation. Stars continue to burn, but there is less and less gas to form new ones. In 100 trillion years, the last star will burn out. Only black holes will remain. But even they are not eternal. Stephen Hawking proved that black holes slowly evaporate. They give off energy in the form of the faintest radiation. And after an unimaginably long time, 10 to the 100th years, the last black hole will disappear. Absolute darkness will arrive. Minus 273 degrees Celsius. Absolute zero. Not a single atom capable of moving. Not a single photon. Physicists call this maximum entropy, a state in which nothing more can happen. Ever. But this is the best-case scenario. The second is much worse. The Big Rip. If dark energy continues to strengthen, the expansion of the universe will accelerate faster and faster until it reaches a limit. And then, everything starts to tear apart. First, the bonds between galaxies. They fly apart. Then, gravity inside galaxies becomes weaker than dark energy. Star systems break apart. 200 million years before the end, galaxies will scatter. 60 million years before the end, star systems will separate. Here is where the real horror begins. 3 months before the end, planets will explode from within. 30 minutes before the end, stars will be ripped apart by dark energy. Seconds before the end, atoms will tear themselves apart. And in the final moment, space itself, the fabric of reality, will be torn to pieces. This is called the Big Rip. And according to some calculations, it could happen in 22 billion years. But there is a third scenario, and it is the most unexpected. The Big Crunch. What if dark energy is not constant? What if at some point it begins to weaken? Then expansion slows, stops, and starts moving in reverse. Galaxies, which are now moving away from each other, begin to come together. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. In billions of years, they begin to collide. the temperature of the universe starts to rise. Background radiation intensifies. Stars begin to break apart from the mounting heat before they even have time to burn out. And in the end, everything collapses back into one point. Infinitely small, infinitely hot. This is called the Big Crunch, or the Big Crunch. And now, the most surprising part. Some physicists think the Big Crunch is not the end. It is a restart, a collapse into a point. And then another Big Bang. A new universe, new laws of physics, new time. This is called the cyclical model. And if it is true, our universe will die. But from its death, the next one will be born, just as ours was born from the death of the previous one. But here is the question that keeps physicists awake. If the cycles are endless, how many universes existed before us? And how many will come after? And there is one more fact, one that changes everything. In 2023, astronomers found that dark energy may be unstable. DESI telescope data showed that its strength changes over time. That means the scenario we thought was most likely, heat death, may turn out to be wrong. And the universe may be heading toward a completely different end. Exactly what kind? We do not know yet. Now let's talk about what this means for you personally. Not in an abstract sense, but concretely. Earth will cease to exist in 5 billion years. The sun will expand and swallow it. Long before that, in about 1 billion years, the sun will become hot enough to evaporate the oceans. Life on Earth will become impossible. The Milky Way will collide with the Andromeda Galaxy in 4.5 billion years. That collision of two galaxies is not an explosion, but a slow merger. Still, for any civilizations inside, it would be a catastrophe. And that is only the near future on the end of the universe schedule. But here is what really changes the scale. In the observable universe, there are more than 2 trillion galaxies. In each one, hundreds of billions of stars. All of it will disappear, without exceptions, without the possibility of preventing it, without a trace. No technology, no civilization, no mind can stop thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics is the only law of physics that works in one direction only. Entropy always increases. Order always turns into chaos. Never the other way around. This is not a hypothesis, not a theory. It is a fundamental law of nature, and it is the sentence of the universe. But here is what physicists have begun to suspect in recent years. That law may not be absolute. On the quantum level, entropy sometimes breaks down. For a short time, in small systems. This is called quantum fluctuations. And if quantum fluctuations exist, then in an infinitely long future, anything becomes possible, including the spontaneous birth of new order out of absolute chaos. This is called the Boltzmann brain hypothesis. In infinite time, even the most unlikely event will happen, including the spontaneous emergence of consciousness from nothing in the absolute darkness of a dead universe. 3 scenarios: slow fading, rip, collapse. Each one inevitable within its own model, each one absolute. But here's what is strange. Knowing the end does not make the present any less real. The sun will rise tomorrow morning. No matter what happens in 5 billion years, you will wake up, feel something, think something. And that is real, right now. The universe has existed for 13.8 billion years. In that time, billions of stars exploded and faded out. Thousands of galaxies formed and were destroyed. Forms of life appeared and vanished that we will never know about. And out of all that chaos, you happened, capable of asking questions about the end of the universe, That alone is incredible. But here is the question that remains open. If the universe dies, and there is no one left to remember it, did any of it even have meaning? Physics does not answer that question. It only states the fact. Everything will end. The only question is, what will you do with the time you have before that? Or the universe has already decided that for you, and you just do not know it yet.